Oh my God, after all this time, it is finally here. Thank you, Lord. I've been so happy because after a year and a half of hard work with a couple mental health breaks in there, I've finally monetized my channel, and I wanted to show you guys the full monetization process and answer all the questions you may have on monetization. And the monetization process actually changes pretty frequently. So if you have watched videos before mid-2020, that information is pretty outdated. Sorry to those creators. So stay tuned for this video so you can get all the updated information on the 2021 YouTube monetization process. Hey everyone, it's Aisha and welcome back to another video. On this channel, we talk about investing, real estate, small business, and entrepreneurship. And today we're talking about YouTube and the ever elusive monetization that I know a lot of you are trying to get to. I've just recently been able to place ads on my channel, and I've been tracking every step of the monetization process so I can walk you guys through everything from beginning to end. So let's move to the laptop so we can talk through every step within the monetization process once you get there. So I hit my requirements on February 20th, just so you can know as we walk through this process. So once you hit your requirements for subscribers as well as watch hours, your monetization tab will update with a blue Apply Now button. When you press this, it'll take you to this 3-step verification process, which is where you will get reviewed and accepted into the partner program. So your first step will be to review the partner program terms, which actually looks like this. It walks through how much you'll make percentage-wise and ad revenue, all that kind of stuff, as well as your payment terms and details around terminating your account. And I know it's easy with contracts like this just to scroll through and go to the bottom and hit accept, but it is a really good idea to walk through everything because there are rules around the program. Being in the partner program is actually considered a privilege, and it can be taken away at any time if you are abusing the program or not following the rules set out by YouTube. You can also get demonetized if you're not meeting the yearly requirements. And so a big question that people have is, do you have to meet the threshold, like the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours every year? And the answer is no. This is laid out on a FAQ page from YouTube that you won't be demonetized for that, but if your page is inactive for 6 months and you do fall below the 4,000 watch hour yearly requirement, then you can be up for consideration to have your account demonetized. So anyways, my contract just looks a little bit different because I've already accepted it. This will show up a little bit differently on your page, but if you go to the bottom after reading through all the terms and agreements, you will see a button down here, which is where you will be accepting the terms and conditions. And with that, you'll actually be done with step 1. Sorry, this little piece of hair keeps bothering me, so we're just gonna get it out the way. So after that, you will have to sign up for a Google AdSense account. And this is one of those things that has changed recently that a lot of people in old videos talk about differently, because in the past, you were able to sign up for an AdSense account before you even hit your monetization requirements. It's what a lot of creators recommended doing to get your AdSense approved ahead of time. So it's one less thing you have to wait on. But in mid-2020, I found, because I was trying to do that, I found that YouTube actually changed this, and they made it so you aren't able to sign up for your AdSense if you're signing up through YouTube until you've hit your requirements. So now it's a step in the process, rather something that you can do proactively, which is like, kind of sucks, but at the same time, YouTube has also really shortened the time that it takes for you to get monetized. So I guess it's a little bit of a trade-off there, because I remember watching videos a couple years ago where people said it takes months for them to get approved into the AdSense program or like the YouTube partner program. But now I've seen that that wait time is anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks for most people. So it really does seem like YouTube has streamlined it over time. So I don't think the AdSense thing is like a huge deal. Okay, so back to setting up your AdSense. It's going to ask you if you have an AdSense account already set up, and if not, it's going to direct you to pick a Google email account that you want to put your AdSense under. Then it'll want you to put in information like the account that you want to monetize, what country you're under, as well as another set of terms and conditions. And then you move forward to another slide where you're basically putting in your personal information, including your name and your address. And here's another place where it's super important to put a current address or an address you have access to, because to verify your AdSense account, Google is going to send you a PIN number to that address. So if you're putting down a bogus address, it might be harder for you later to get the PIN to be able to verify your address. So make sure that that information is somewhere that you'll be able to access. So once you've done this, step 2 will now say in progress, and you actually now just have to wait until YouTube approves your AdSense account. It really just depends, but from my personal experience, I applied on a Friday afternoon and I was approved by Monday morning when I woke up. So from there, once you're approved for your AdSense, you'll be able to move on to step 3. And what step 3 is that YouTube is actually going through your account and making sure that you comply with all their monetization policies so that you can be approved as a YouTube partner. There isn't anything you have to do to kickstart this. Now, it really just is automatically started as soon as you're approved for your AdSense. So again, this can take anywhere from a few days to a couple weeks, but for me, it only took another 3 days. So after about 6 days total, I was approved and accepted into the YouTube Partner Program. So next, let's jump into turning on your monetization and having your channel optimized so that you are getting the most out of the ads on your page. So after you're monetized, you actually get to decide which videos you want to monetize and turn on ads for, but there are other decisions that you're going to have to make as well when it comes to optimizing these ads. So for each video, there will be an option for you to turn your monetization on or off, but there's also an option for you to pick the type of ads you want. So there are some boxes that are grayed out. This is something you'll see throughout a lot of the steps that we see with YouTube, is that there are certain things that YouTube turns on for themselves and you can't change, but there's still a lot of options that you can make and change for yourself. So one of them is types of ads. You can decide which ads you want when it comes to your videos, and you can customize this for each video. So my go-to, and the one you see a lot on a lot of people's channels, is that skippable video ad that comes up at the beginning. So it plays 5 seconds of the ad, and then the user has the opportunity to skip that ad, but you can also choose between that and non-skippable ads, display ads, overlay ads, as well as sponsor cards. So there's a number of different ads that you can pick, and you can also do multiple. You don't have to decide on just one. And this is also true for where you want your ads. So videos that are over 8 minutes, you can actually have mid-roll ads, which means you have the option to put an ad in the middle of your video somewhere, and YouTube will automatically place this based on natural breaks in the video where they think is best, but you can also do it manually. However, YouTube recommends that they do it based on their algorithm to find a place. But again, if you really don't want to do that, you can turn off that automation and you can do it manually. So for this video, because it is less than 5 minutes, I don't have the option to put in mid-roll ads. But let's go to another video where we have that opportunity. So I don't make super long videos anymore, but let's check one of my February updates for the SBA grant. So as you can see here, we have the option to place the location of the video ad because this video is over 8 minutes. And before, this is another thing that was different, because up until mid last year, YouTube had the limit for where you could place mid-roll ads. It was your video had to be a minimum of 10 minutes. But I think what they were finding is that a lot of creators were creating a lot of content with fluff in the beginning or throughout the video in order to hit that 10 minutes so they can put another ad. So what they did is shorten that requirement to 8 minutes to allow people to create more natural content but still capitalize on those extra ads. So I'm not a huge person who wants to put a lot of ads on my videos. I'd rather people gain valuable content and watch the video all the way through than trying to squeeze in as many ads as possible, because there's always a chance that the user will get annoyed and just click off the video, which I want to prevent. However, because this video is 16 minutes long, I feel like that's long enough of a video to have a mid-roll ad. So as you can see here, it's not grayed out like the other video. I actually have the opportunity to not only put a video pre-roll, which is before the video, but also a mid-roll ad. And I can also do a post-roll ad, but I found that was gonna be overkill, especially for this video. So I just left it at these 2 options. Okay, now I'm such a huge nerd, so I love looking at data and analytics. So now that we're done with the basic part of monetization, let's look at our analytics to see how we can decode this data to help boost your revenue. And so after you start making money, you'll actually see your estimated revenue starting to update, and you'll see 2 other important metrics pop up. One is RPM and one is CPM. So let's walk through what these mean and why they are so important. So first, let's talk through CPM because that's kind of like the higher level metric. And CPM represents the rate at which advertisers are paying for ad space on your channel. And CPM stands for cost per mil, which is basically cost per 1,000 impressions or cost per 1,000 times that your ad is popped up or shown. And CPM is a metric used all over the ad industry, so it has a lot of different contexts. But in this context for YouTube, they basically say it is when your ad pops up, and that is how they are defining an impression. So this is what advertisers are paying for 1,000 times of that. And even if you do have a niche, you'll find that each of your videos returns a different CPM just based on what you talk about specifically in that video. So if we want to walk through some of my different CPMs, as you can see, mine are kind of on the high side, and that is because I do run, a finance, real estate investing channel. So my consumers are people that advertisers are paying a little bit more money for, but I still want to work to get these CPMs higher. But as you can see, they range pretty widely. We see like $14 here and then anywhere to like $47 here. So there is a lot of different ranges depending on the context of the video and the topics that I'm talking about. So the more specific your niche is and the more niche your customers are, advertisers are likely to pay higher amounts to place their ads on your channel. And if you have a channel that doesn't really have a niche, or you're doing something general like just lifestyle or something that is more important to you but has less concern to consumers that are watching, advertisers might not pay as much to place ads. Okay, so let's move over to RPM, and RPM actually represents the revenue that you're actually going to be making. And so why is this so different than CPM? Well, if you remember, and if you've read your terms and conditions, you'll know that YouTube actually takes 45% of your ad revenue and leaves you with 55% of it. So naturally, RPM will seem like it is going to be lower. Also, RPM takes into account all your views. CPM is only doing the ones that do have ads on it because that's how it's calculated. So these explain a lot of the differences between RPM and CPM. Another difference between RPM and CPM is that RPM is going to take into account all the revenue that you're making through YouTube. So again, CPM is when those ads are popping up, but there are other ways of making money through YouTube. So let's talk through some of those right now since we're already on the topic. So if you go to your monetization tab, you will see that there are actually different types of monetization options beyond just video advertising. So one is memberships, and this is when you create a monthly subscription for your members to subscribe to, and you give them access to exclusive content that they're paying for on a monthly basis. That is also something that will be added into your RPM if this is a revenue stream that you choose to use for your channel. There's also supers, and this is something recent. And in my opinion, it is something that was used by YouTube as kind of a response to the ways that Twitch allows streamers to monetize, where you can basically donate to them while they're doing live streams. Well, this is something similar where you get what are considered supers, so a super chat and super stickers to help support you as a creator. These are things that your subscribers can buy so that their comments will stick out in chats and basically shows that they are supporting you as a creator. So these three main ways are the ways that you can make revenue through YouTube, but you also have to remember that once you are growing a channel and you have a loyal base of viewers and subscribers, you can also start making revenue on your own through sponsorships and brand deals with companies outside of YouTube. So just because you have this monetization here, don't be deterred from also trying to, build your brand base outside of the monetization options on YouTube alone. A lot of creators make just as much money, if not more money, through their outside brand deals and partnerships. YouTube offers one avenue, but it definitely isn't the end all be all. So I encourage you, to explore as many options as you can. So I know that was a lot for us to cover today, but as you know, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I always answer as many questions as possible, and I'm interested to see what questions you guys have after watching this video. I really wanted this to be step-by-step and in-depth because I feel like a lot of people, just provide the high level or a lot of the content that was in depth. Like I said, there are some outdated pieces to it. So I wanna make sure that you guys have a fresh 2021 monetization template for you to go through as you get monetized. So all of your questions will be answered. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button as it helps how my content performs, as well as my channel, and being a small YouTuber, it's definitely appreciated. Well, thanks for tagging along today, guys, and looking through my monetization and analytics with me. I hope you guys found it helpful. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.